Friends, we are starting now our second day of pilgrimage accompanied by Saint Raphael. It's time for us to reflect on the book of Tobias, this book of the Bible, the only book where the Archangel, the Doctor of God, is mentioned. And just for this matter, being the Doctor of God, the name Saint Raphael means in Hebrew, the Doctor of God. God heals. And this is exactly what we are in deep need for our spiritual life. This is why we need a so huge protection, not less than an archangel to protect us, to care for us, to be our guide and our doctor on our journey to heaven. Saint Raphael is the protector of many others. He's our protector because we are pilgrims on this earth. He's also the protector of the person engaged in the sacred bounds of marriage. He is also the protector for the doctors and carers, and we know how much we were in need of them those last months and how much we are still in need of them. And these few videos is also an opportunity for me to thank them for the beautiful and huge work they've done against those last heavens. And it's also a reminder for us to say thank you through our words, just our words, it's already a lot, but also through our prayers of thanksgiving to God and to Saint Raphael, who kept us in a good health all along these strange heavens. Saint Raphael is the Doctor of God. He was sent by God to heal the old and very pious Tobias, and also his future daughter-in-law, whom a demon named Asmodeus, with God's permission, afflicted her by killing the 7 men that she had successively married on the very day of her wedding. Raphael, without being recognized as an archangel, accompanied the young son of Tobias, himself named Tobias, in this difficult and unknown journey. And because Tobias was to receive the payment of an old debt from Raphael to Tobias, he was in need to be accompanied, because the old Tobias couldn't make the journey. Saint Raphael protected Tobias in different and a multitude of dangers. First of all, we all know this story, the big fish going out of the water trying to catch the young Tobias. And Raphael, without losing his calm, say to Tobias to catch the fish and taught him how to extract the liver and the heart. And we will see why the archangel asked Tobias to keep that for the future. In fact, the heart of the fish represents Christ burning on coals, and its smoke made the demon flee. And the gall applied to the eyes of the father made him regain his sight. When Tobias arrived at Raphael's house, he asked the payment of the debt and also if he could marry Sarah. Raphael started to say no because he was afraid, because he knew what happened to the 7 other men who married Sarah, his daughter. And he didn't want this to happen to the young Tobias. Here also, Saint Raphael guided Sarah and Tobias, presenting them this necessary thing to be done at the very first step of their marriage, in order not to fall into the same sin than the previous 7 husbands she had. Saint Raphael invited them to pray together. On the very first day, very first minutes of their marriage, what did they do? Praying the Lord, praying for their marriage being blessed by the Lord. And while they were praying, the devil named Asmodeus, who was infecting Sarah, devils came out, and Saint Raphael was there, catch him. And in the same time, Saint Raphael asked Tobias to burn the heart on some charcoals. We've got the prayer, and we've got the good smell of the heart, which is Christ, as I said at the very beginning. Christ burning on the coals, giving a nice odor like incense in the church, in the liturgy. And we've got both aspects of the good smell of the prayer, which is terrible for for evil spirits, and that make them flee. And this liver, which is burned on the coals as well, which is quite bitter. And this is the bitterness of penance, which allows the soul to see God. In fact, Saint Raphael is leading us through our journey to heaven, through prayers and penance. In fact, there is nothing new. Again, what God is asking us. Again, prayer and penance on our journey to heaven. We are pilgrims. We need a guide. Let's have Saint Raphael today. Saint Raphael, who is guiding us through the prayers and penance. We need this. We need the good smell of the prayer. We need also the bitterness of penance, the difficulties of the penance, to be purified, to have our love for God purified of all the affections we may have and we may still keep from our past. As Saint Raphael healed the old Tobias and Sarah, we can ask him also to heal our souls, and if we need, also our bodies, because we've got both aspects in this double healing. He healed the body of the old Tobias by giving him his eyes back, and he also healed the soul. He delivered the soul of Sarah, who was affected by an evil spirit. And we can ask Saint Raphael his help to deliver us from our sorrows, both spiritual and physical. But we need to do that with the right intention. Look at what happened to the first husband of Sarah. They didn't think about the prayer. They were thinking only of the use of the marriage, which is a good thing, but not even if it's well ordered under the sight of God. This is also the second request. Saint Raphael asked them to pray first, to spend 3 days of penance and prayer by doing what God wanted for them. Saint Raphael is also our guide on this way to heaven. We are, as I said, and we are, as we all know, we are on our way back to heaven. We need our own conversion. And this is why we can see in how is depicted usually in the art and all the beautiful things we can see, is most of the time depicted as a pilgrim with a large hat and a long road with at the top an apple, the pommel. And this is a meaning for us who are pilgrims on earth. This pommel, which symbolized the apple, the forbidden fruit, is also a symbol for us who are pilgrims. We need this walking stick, and this apple at the very top of our road is here to remember that we are pilgrims and we need to make penance for our sins. A pilgrimage, there is definitely a dimension, a penitential dimension in it. Why do we need to make penance? If it's not for our own sins. We are all sinners. And this is why we need to make a pilgrimage, to make the conversion of ourselves. We need to face God again. This is the true meaning of a conversion. And a pilgrimage is the most easiest way to do it, because we're walking from a point to another. We're walking from, if the condition were allowing us, from Paris Cathedral to Chartres Cathedral, or to St. Sulpice to Chartres. And this is every year an opportunity for each of us to make a spiritual point on our conversion, our own conversion, our way to face God again. This year, this is unfortunately not possible, but spiritually, we can still make this conversion. We can still make this pilgrimage, because in fact, our life, our entire life, is a pilgrimage, is a journey back to heaven. We need this walking stick of the sacraments and the grace of God. And all the time, we've got at the top of this walking stick the pommel, this apple, which is reminding us why we are doing this pilgrimage. This is reminding us that we are sinners, and this walk is made as a penance for our sin. Saint Raphael is our guide, is the one to follow on this pilgrimage to heaven. He's the one to follow because he's got all the ways. He knows the way, as he was the guide for Tobias. He knows the way, and he knows also how to heal. He's the doctor of God. He's the one who will heal our sins. He will heal our wounds. He's the one to listen and to follow. This is why the devotion to Saint Raphael the Archangel is so important for our spiritual life. Saint Raphael also, and we already mentioned that before, he is also assisting Tobias and Sarah in their fight against the devil. Because in fact, what happened on the very first night of their wedding, it's a true rite of exorcism that Saint Raphael teaches Tobias, to burn the heart and the liver of a fish, and the smoke of which chases the demons away. We are definitely plunged into a terrifying battle on the outcome of which our eternal fate depends. And this is the promise we've got from God, and that's evidence of the book of Tobias is giving to us. We do not fight alone, because the grace of God is conceded to us in proportion to the perils. Each time God is allowing a danger, each time God is allowing a temptation happening to us, each time this is happening, each time Jesus is allowing us a trap to happen to us, He always and also send all the graces that we need to go over, to fight and to find the right resolution, to find the right way to deal with that trap. Saint Raphael is also our guide here, as he guided Tobias and Sarah. Let's pray Saint Raphael on our journey to heaven. Let's pray him because he is a pilgrim like us. He wished to accompany you. He wished to accompany all of us on our way to heaven. And as he was willing to help Sarah, Tobias, the old Tobias and Regals, all those persons we find in the book of the Bible, he's willing to help us. Let us pray him with those last words as a prayer. Saint Raphael, charitable guide of travelers, you who by divine virtue operate miraculous healing, deign to guide us in the pilgrimage of this life, and to cure the illnesses of our souls and those of our bodies. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.